Take two. Behind the Struggle. Welcome back.
Alright, hey guys, it's Behind the Struggle. Welcome back. I'm the real CEO.
I'm Alexia. We just saw Us in theaters now.
By Jordan Peele.
We're going to do a short review because we haven't done one of those in a long time. And this is our second time recording this. So, generally speaking, God damn it, I don't even know what I said last time. I had to walk again into the theater not knowing a single thing about the movie. I didn't see a trailer, I didn't hear anything about it. I was getting a lot of buzz by Jordan Peele, who, as you know, also did Get Out. And Get Out was great, so I just walked into the theater just with no real expectations because I had no idea what I was walking into.
As far as the acting goes, I thought the acting was really good. As far as with Peter and the guy that plays M'Baku, I don't know his name. Because as far as I know from the movie, they didn't do any screen tricks. They literally had to play both parts. So for them playing their double gangers or the tethers, what they call them in the movie, I think they did a really good job with that, especially the kids. The music, I thought was pretty good. It wasn't like, oh man, it made the movie, but I thought it was an interesting choice of what they did with it.
Jordan Peele, I think, is amazing at making a story work off of a very small, tight-knit cast. All of them are just amazing actors regardless, and I don't know who the kids were, but they did amazing as well, like, blew my mind away. I think Jordan just focuses on one thing, and he does it really well, but it's all encompassed in that one idea, so...
What do you think was the one idea he was trying to get across or focus on?
I'm gonna call the tethered people the red people just because they were wearing red. You knew that. That was in the trailer, right?
Yeah.
So the red people, they called themselves tethered to the people on Earth because they were underground or whatever you call it. And they were saying that they're the shadows. I think it was to represent the deeper, darker parts of each person. So not necessarily another personality, just the things that you were to suppress. Like something stupid, like chewing with your mouth open. You actively chew with your mouth closed, so your shadow, if that was your problem, would be chewing with their mouth open. You know what I mean? Just like little subtleties like that. Not everyone's good and not everyone's bad. There has to be balance of both. And in Us, there was a slight separation of the good and the bad. These red people were like almost as if they were in a parallel universe or just underground everything else, mimicking exactly what we were doing, but they were getting the worst parts of the situation. Like if you were going to the dentist to get a cavity filled, your shadow, the cavity would just be getting worse or whatever.
That there's a duality to everything basically?
Everything.
A good and
Everyone, yeah. And I guess the moral, if you will, is you have to really embrace both, even the parts of yourself that you don't like, because both parts make up who you are. And the more you try to separate it in your mind, the more violent it gets. In the movie itself, it said there's one soul and two bodies, and that's where the conflict was, because there was still just one soul.
And that's now you should bring that up. That is one thing that I guess because they never were in the above world, they didn't learn certain things, but...
Well, the key that made her, or made them recognize each other, the main character, was Jeremiah 11:11.
Oh, I actually read the scripture on that while I was in the theater. It's pretty crazy what it says.
Me too.
Yeah.
I had to look it up in the theater. Yeah. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will bring evil upon them, which they shall not be able to escape. And though they shall try unto me, I will not hearken unto them.
So when I saw that in the movie with the one guy that's holding the sign when the little girl sees it, I was trying to find where that would fit as far as the theme or the idea was trying to fit with the movie, and I think
it was the entire thing.
Yeah, they cannot escape, they cannot run because they are connected by the soul that binds the two.
That's what I'm saying. And that idea, as abstract as it is, was the entire movie. I could be wrong, but I think that theme, that's all there was to that movie. You know what I mean?
I think there were some more underlying themes where I feel he was trying to...
And I feel like that's made up then. You made it up in your head. I don't think Jordan intentionally put those themes in there. You know what I mean? Whatever you're going to say. I don't care what you're going to say. So, the Jeremiah 11:11 though, it's ironic because 11:11 is that typical, just girly things, 11:11, make a wish.
Well, I read that supposedly 11:11 is an angelic number, so anything that you focus your attention on will come to pass. Which is weird because literally for the last 9 months, those are the only numbers I've been seeing, 11:11 or 111. I think he's trying to build a universe. I feel like everyone's trying to do that now since Marvel's doing it. I think there is a connection to Get Out. Also, the movie had a Twilight Zone kind of theme to it, because at the end of the movie, like you see like when they're panning over everything, they show like this line of all these people holding hands, like all the red people, and I'm like, and that was a weird thing to me at the end when the family got away after whatever happened with Lupita and their red double.
Spoiler alert, Jesus.
We've been in that territory.
You didn't say it to our poor viewers.
They drove off, and like, do you still see them standing there in the background, like literally like across all of America?
Okay, but we have to discuss, spoiler alert for real, the main character, the mother, she switched when she was in the forest of Find Yourself or whatever with the other little girl, when she saw her reflection and it was actually her red person. I knew it too. I called in the theater that they switched.
You knew it when she first showed up and she started talking. That's when you knew?
Who started talking?
The tethered version, when she's talking like, bye. When she's talking like that.
That's, yeah, basically, because when she started talking, and then I realized the other people couldn't speak, it brought me back to when the girl had like PTSD and she couldn't talk. I feel like she was not manipulating the new family that she took over and learned how to speak again. Because back in the underground or whatever, they didn't have any more uniform communication schedule, nothing, and that was revealed later, but it was evident because that was the only one that could speak. So, and she was the only one that seemed to be super bitter about not having this life because she was the only one that knew that it was already there. This one found out probably at the end of the movie.
Nah, bro.
When? Go ahead, tell me when. When they're driving off into the truck.
Lord help me.
Yeah. Jeremiah 11:11.
I figured. Oh, I can't escape this. I figured it out when they went to the white people's house. Now, I know that sounds racist, but the white people. That's when I figured it out, because when she was running and just like I started seeing things in hindsight, because even when they were at the beach and she was talking to her white friend about her surgery, and she was just asking her questions, and when she was sitting there, she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, like I have trouble talking sometimes." You know, like I remembered that, and when I started seeing the other doppelgangers that couldn't speak, it kind of made me like, maybe I think she was switched, because they never really showed it, especially how they filmed it in the angle. A little funny thing though, I swear I thought at one point they said apes, but like, because the guy, he like grunts like, and it sounds like Alexia when she says apes, like, apes!
Yeah, that's exactly how I sound.
Yeah, exactly like she sounds. So I was like, oh shit, Alexia's in the movie.
When the white family had their red people, that's when I realized that everyone had a double and it wasn't just her. After they had like killed their counterparts, the wife went into the room and started putting lip gloss on her lips and was like, "I'm pretty," but in a really creepy, scary like type way.
Like how Alexia does her makeup, same way.
When her like husband was getting murdered on the boat, she saw it and she was like screaming, but like whisper screaming, and it was like,
yeah, you couldn't hear anything.
She's such a great actress. I can't. She couldn't kill the black wife.
Yeah, I noticed.
So that was another sort of, they're from the same place. Because nothing stopped her from brutally murdering anybody else, but she had like the scissors and whatever right up to her neck and she just didn't do it.
The little girl, Lupita's doppelganger, when they met her in the Forest of Mirrors, right? In the little magic mirror house. I was trying to figure out what she was saying afterwards, because you could see there's this shift with the tethered, because they make reference to when she was doing ballet and like she was dancing and something about how they realized that they could become free because of that. I was trying to find a connection on how they were trying to say that. Like, what was the end goal? Like, kill everybody up above and then just walk around
Take
up
over
here
their
silently,
lives.
and just walk around up here silently or grunting at one another. Like,
Well, they were saying, no, not silently. They grew up like that for generations, not knowing how to speak. They said that the government put them down there for whatever reason, and then they had like just left them. But they kept like procreating because the upworld or whatever you want to call it was doing the same. But because there was no order and no rules or schedule or whatever.
because whatever government experiment they made reference to that started it just basically left them there.
The ballet dancing was after they had switched.
Yeah.
So the girl that was from the human world could speak, she could dance, she could do these things that these underground, the red people didn't know about because they were never exposed to it. And then obviously as they mirror each other in like a parallel universe type way, as she was dancing, then the red people realized that she could save them because she's the only one that knew there was another world. If you grew up in a basement your whole life, you don't know that there's anything other than that basement. But she did, and she was probably telling them. So their goal, I think, was they were already bitter because they were basically prisoners down there. They wanted to
have an actual life.
kill their counterparts, not because they're violent, but because they wanted that life. And who says that they can't have that and that person can? You know what I mean? Meanwhile, the people that were living their normal lives had no idea these people existed.
Yeah, so it's like going back to that duality, like, you know, the good and the bad. Like, one has joy and the other one has pain. So whenever one experienced joy, they would get the opposite end of that.
Right, but the goal still being that you need both in your life. That's bottom line.
I think this was also a reference to Get Out, because in the Get Out movie, they do something where they basically take out the brain of black people, put the white people's brain in it to kind of inhabit their bodies and extend their lives. I think this was some form of them advancing what had been done in us, because it's two bodies sharing one soul. So when it's basically force, is kind of like a reflection mirror to do what the other one up above is doing, where at least in us, they may not have the body, but they have free will on what they want to do with it and can extend their life.
So again, that and Get Out, that person, the real person, their soul was prisoner to the one that was being replaced with. The only thing though is the person that took over, their like bodies or hosts like died or whatever. They couldn't sustain life anymore. So that's why they took over the other body. But then the other one became prisoner, which could very well be that all of those, it happened so often that all of them ended up going to the tunnels and caves, but it doesn't necessarily explain why there would be an exact carbon copy of two of the same people of every single person. The only thing is it was classified as a horror movie. Everyone was saying it was a horror movie. They were playing it up as a horror movie. I don't think it was a horror movie. I don't think it was scary.
No, it was more suspenseful and thriller.
Great movie, but it was definitely not a horror movie.
Based on our rating, which is 1, nah, and 2 is, go see it. I give it a 2.
Please in the comments below, let us know when you noticed the mom had been
What
switched.
other theories you guys may have
Any
also?
other theories? Because this one thinks the sun was switched. I think he's lying.
I think the sun was switched, bro.
And also what you thought of this review. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching Behind the Struggle. We will see you next time. Subscribe, follow, slide in his DMs.
Slide in her DM.
Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time.
Give her some love too, guys. Peace out.